Why is the miracle of Jesus walking on water so important for mankind? Why has this story, told for centuries, captured the hearts and minds of countless believers? It is not just a tale of divine power, but a profound message about faith, fear, and the presence of God in our most desperate moments. This miracle is not merely a display of Jesus' authority over nature, it is a living testament that, no matter how stormy our lives become, we are never alone. The everlasting value of this story is its reminder that in the darkest hours, hope walks toward us on the waves. Picture the disciples, exhausted and fearful, caught in the middle of a furious storm. They are ordinary men, fishermen, not warriors, battling forces far beyond their control. The sea roars with unrelenting power, waves tower like giants, crashing violently against their small, fragile boat. The wind howls, tearing at their robes and stinging their faces with cold, salty spray. Darkness envelopes them, and lightning cuts through the sky, illuminating their terror-stricken faces. These men, who had witnessed miracles with their own eyes, were now gripped with fear, doubting their safety and perhaps even their faith. And then, something extraordinary happens. Out of the blackness, a faint glow begins to pierce the darkness. A figure emerges, walking calmly on the water. It is Jesus, moving gracefully, each step gentle yet unwavering. The waves that threatened to swallow the disciples part gently beneath his feet, glowing softly as if the water itself bows in recognition of its creator. But the disciples, battling against the storm, do not recognize him at first. They are blinded by their fear, mistaking the miracle for a ghost. How often do we, in the midst of our troubles, fail to recognize the very help that is approaching us? Fear blinds us, making us see threats where there is salvation. As Jesus draws closer, his voice cuts through the storm, clear, commanding, and full of authority. Take courage. It is I, don't be afraid. In that moment, the storm does not cease, but the hearts of the disciples find an unexplainable calm. His words transcend the roaring wind and crashing waves, reaching into the very souls of those who hear them. Then, Peter, always bold and impulsive, calls out, "Lord, if it's you, tell me to come to you on the water." Jesus simply says, "Come." Peter steps out of the boat, his feet miraculously finding solid footing on the surface of the water. For a moment, his eyes fixed on Jesus, Peter defies the storm, walking toward the Savior. But then, the wind howls louder, the waves rise higher, and Peter's focus shifts from Jesus to the chaos around him. Fear creeps back in, and he begins to sink. He cries out, "Lord, save me." Immediately, Jesus reaches out and grabs Peter's hand. "You of little faith," he says gently, "why did you doubt?" As Jesus and Peter climb back into the boat, the storm suddenly ceases. The sea, once raging with fury, becomes as calm as glass, reflecting the starry sky above. The disciples are left in awe, gazing at the one who commands the winds and the waves with a mere word. They fall to their knees, worshiping him, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." This miracle is more than a story of Jesus walking on water, it is an eternal reminder of his power and presence in our lives. When the storms of life threaten to overwhelm us, when fear blinds us and faith seems distant, we must remember, Jesus is always near. He walks toward us, untroubled by the waves that terrify us. He speaks words of courage into our hearts, calming the storm within even before the storm around us subsides. So, why is this miracle important for mankind? It teaches us that in every storm, Jesus comes to us. He is not a distant observer but a Savior who steps into our chaos. It calls us to keep our eyes fixed on him, to step out in faith even when the waves are high, and to trust that no matter how deep we sink, his hand is always there to pull us up. This is the everlasting value. Jesus is our calm in the storm, our peace in the chaos, and our Savior in every trial.